In this video, we're going to browse the classical music library within the Music Online database, which you can access through the Lincoln City Library's website, courtesy of the Poly Music Library. From the main Lincoln City Library site, as we did in the other videos, go to lincolnlibraries.org, choose the Resources tab, and then Online Resources, then Access from outside the library. You'll need to enter your library card number and then your PIN number that you use for other online library resources like placing holds. Go down to the Arts, Music, and Entertainment Resources section, and then you can head into the Classical Music Library. This section works much like we saw in the American Song section, but we do have a few different searching capabilities to mention. As you might guess by the title, this area of Music Online focuses on recordings of Western classical music, from the medieval times to the present. You'll find a few pieces in here that are more jazz, rock, or folk-oriented, but that's typically because of a collaboration with an orchestra or something of that nature. But let's check out a few strengths of this database, both for research and for listening enjoyment. Like the other areas, you have a search bar where you can type in whatever you'd like, or you have this advanced search area. But let's start with something obvious like Beethoven. He's celebrating his 250th birthday in 2020. He doesn't look a day over 175 if you ask me. But let's go ahead and find Beethoven in the list of composers here in the advanced search section. And once we plug him in, we should get quite a few results. We'll hit search after selecting that term. And yes, of course, we've got 1,300 plus results. We can kind of scroll down through here. Here's an especially nice thing though. Let's say you're just interested in putting on the Beethoven Symphonies without borrowing a whole pile of CDs from the library. We can choose this EMI Recordings Beethoven's Complete Symphonies. And here we are. You can just click in here and listen to all of the symphonies just from this one page. You can skip around between tracks just like you would with a CD, but with all of that material in one place. Plus you have the metadata that you don't necessarily have on other types of streaming services, so it's a pretty good format. For some composers who aren't well represented in the Lincoln City Library's music CD collection, we can also find a lot of great recordings of classical music in this library. George Crumb is a favorite composer of mine, for example, and a good portion of his recorded work is available here. We've got 60 results. We don't have any of these in the library, but you can use your library card and PIN number to listen to this rather large set of his recordings right here. And let's look at another interesting example. I know recently we got in a great new book that's about Charles Ives' Concord Sonata. We don't have any CD recordings of the Concord Sonata in the library system. There are a couple of recordings that you can listen to through Hoopla, but if you want to save your 4 Hoopla downloads per month, let's look here. I'll just put in Ives' Concord Sonata. We'll test our luck here. And indeed, here are a few recordings of it that we can examine. A few different ones to choose from here. Looks like a few on individual CDs, and then one from a Works of Charles Ives CD set. So you could even listen to these and compare performances. With a piece like this, there will be some definite differences between performances too, so that would be something worth checking out as well. Now let's look at one of the special sub-searching features here. Let's say you're a vocalist and you're looking for German language pieces in a particular key. Let's start by browsing by genre over here on the left. Now we'll take these results and look within them by language down in the left. We'll choose vocal and choral here first to select instrumentation. Now we're going to scroll down in the left column and different ways that you can refine your search. We can choose original language, and we'll just choose German off of this list. The list is a bit longer as well if you click on more. Now we can go over to music key and further parse these results. Now it's worth mentioning that only a small section of the music in this library has key signature metadata that's been entered, so we're only going to get a small number of results for these, but it is an interesting starting point at any rate. Or we could go back out of here, we could search by composer, we could look at other instrumentation involved in these pieces in the results. I'm sure we'll find a lot of things with piano accompaniment, for example. Indeed, piano is the first thing listed. but there are certainly some tools here to help narrow your search through these recordings. So that's a quick overview of the classical music library within the Music Online database. If you have any questions, you can contact the Poly Music Library by emailing me at polley, Polley, at lincolnlibraries.org, or call 402-441-8520.